Hey guys, we are here at CEDIA 2024. We're here at the OSD audio booth with Simon. Simon, you guys have a ton of stuff here at the show. We've got home theater products, we've got outdoor speakers, outdoor subwoofers. We're gonna be looking at some cool new power amps. You've got a little bit for everyone. So tell us a little bit about what we've got at the show and really what is the essence of OSD audio?
Yeah, thanks Michael, I appreciate the introduction. I appreciate you being here too. We do have a lot of products. We're pretty well known in the business for having value-oriented products that sell both direct to end users for those guys that want to do it themselves.
Yeah.
But we also work with the CEDIA community, the Custom Electronic Design and Installation Association, for those more complex products where it's a little bit more challenging and some people may need a bit of help getting the job done. That's why we're here at the show, but we're showing products that are going to go direct to end users as well as through the CEDIA channel.
Well, I think you've got a lot of products that my audience are going to really love because one of the biggest things is the value proposition. Your price points are ridiculously low, so a lot of you guys at home, you're looking to get into home theater and you're like, man, Michael, this stuff's super expensive, I can't afford that. I think you're going to find, especially with some of these new amplifiers, you can absolutely afford this. So Simon, what do we have behind us here?
Thank you for that. And I've got to tell you, I was walking around the show yesterday and one of the budget demonstration rooms, sound rooms over here, the budget one was $150,000.
Yeah.
So we're not, I mean, we want that performance, but you know, $150,000 is a lot of money for most people.
Absolutely.
It's not budget.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Michael, so let's start here. These are products that we introduced about 6 months ago, and I think you've had a look at these products already, right?
Yeah.
These are our HTA 200 series multi-channel amplifiers for home theater application. Typically 200 watts per channel into 5 or 7 channels. Toroidal transformers, Class AB performance. They launched earlier this year, they've done extremely well for us. But it was always our plan, Michael, to take it to that next level.
Yeah. And
so those guys that really want to squeeze all the performance that they can out of their home theater system and really start to challenge the sound quality of these $150,000 to $1 million systems that we're going to see here at the show.
One thing that's great is, I mean, you've got plenty of power, 200 watts per speaker. That's sufficient for most home theater setup. That's what I've always, that was kind of like my target goal. When I bought an amplifier, I wanted 200 watts, and that just gives me plenty of headroom, so you don't have to worry about your amplifier clipping if you've got some non-sensitive speakers and they are more demanding.
Yeah, and the truth is that you're not going to use all 200 watts for the majority of the time, but if you have that power available, then your distortion levels are going to go way down. And that's the key to it, you know, comfortable, powerful, high-level sound. And the 200 watts will get you there all day long. You want a little bit more? Lower distortion, same level? Let's step it up. And that step up, Michael, look at this.
This is amazing, Simon. Tell me what you got here.
You're gonna
These are new, right?
These are brand new. They're not on sale yet, but they will be before the end of the year. We have an 11 channel. So now we're putting everything in one box, all 11 channels. And we're giving you 300 watts for the front 3 channels.
Nice.
And then we're giving you 150 watts for the 8 other channels to make up the 11 channel system.
So is that 8 ohm or 4 ohm?
That's into 4 ohms.
Okay.
We know a lot of people have 4 ohms systems now, so we quote into 4 ohms, but on our specification sheets we are going to the new FTC power specifications, which, as you probably know, and it's becoming a bit of a topic, it has to be into 8 ohms, 20 to 20, 1% distortion, with all channels driven.
Yes.
We love that because it's going to give transparency. Everybody's on a level playing field. Your end users, your customers are going to know what they're looking at and be able to make a real. So we're going to do that. We've done that in the past anyway. We're pretty transparent with our specs, but we're going to continue that thing. But we quote into the numbers I'm giving you are 4 ohms. But if you need more power,
this is a big boy.
The HTA 7300. This is 7 times 300 watts, man. This will fire up any system. Doesn't matter if you have inefficient speakers. This will get you where you want to be. Probably, you know, with medium efficiency speakers, this will get you to 118 decibels or more.
And you've got blue LEDs. Everybody likes blue LEDs,
We've got
right?
blue LEDs. We have
normally when you have a blue LED, that means the price goes way up, though, right?
Yeah, there is a brand out there that's very famous for its blue LEDs and blue meters. It's not us, but we're going to give you one of those anyway for our price points, which at launch, this 11-channel amplifier, we're targeting $1,500 for launch.
You got to be kidding me.
$1,500. Probably end up being $1,699 regular price, but you know us.
So under $2,000, you're getting 11 channels of amplification.
Yes, you are.
200 watts, 300 watts. Holy cow.
Yes, you are. You match this with a really nice AVR, $1,500, $1,600.
Yeah.
And for around $3,000, just over $3,000, you have an incredible system, front-end system.
So this is a big unit. We're probably running class AB in here?
It's class AB again. It's actually H configuration, so it's more efficient, runs at about 65% efficiency. Okay. We cranked it up, ran it all day yesterday, and it never got so hot that we were worried about it.
Yeah,
although we have plenty of heat sinks in here and plenty of ventilation.
Sure. Well, Simon, it's beautiful on the front and the top, but maybe we can swing around the back and show them what it looks like back there.
Let's go look at the back panel.
All right, Simon, we're looking at a whole lot back here. Tell us what we got going on.
Yeah, in terms of connectivity, I think we're trying to meet everybody's expectations. We have RCA line-ins on every channel, of course, but we also have XLR for all 11 channels. For those people that either have super long runs and need to get the noise levels down as far as possible, or simplicity of connection is easier with XLRs. Obviously, we have high-quality binding posts for the speaker terminals, all 11 right here. We have triggers, so if you can trigger it off your AVR to turn the amp on, turn the amp off when it's not being used. And we do have for the meter on the front, we do have a switch that will dim or turn off the meter. Because I know a lot of people in their home theaters, when all the lights are off, the last thing you want is bright blue LEDs, lights distracting you from the movie. So
totally makes sense.
What else do you see, Michael?
Well, normally when you add XLR, you're adding a lot of cost to that, but like you've already covered the cost. We're still under $2,000. You're getting RCA, you're getting XLR input or inputs.
You know, our experience, our goal is always to get products directly from the factory to the end user as quickly and as efficiently as possible. We don't look for features where we can jack the price up a little bit because it has a certain feature. If these things only add $1 at factory cost, that's all we're going to pass on. Sure. You know, it doesn't have to be a ton of money. Some companies may want to tell you it is, but it really isn't. So yeah, we are a value proposition company. Anything we can do to get you all the features you need at the best possible price, we're going to put on that, which is what we're doing here. We looked at products that are really, really close to my heart, the home theater stuff. It's my passion, but we do a lot of other things, and we try to provide products that are going to solve problems for customers if they're trying to put audio in their house or in their outdoor areas. Some of them are application specific, so they solve a particular problem. I'll give you an example of that right now. Check out this speaker. See how shallow that is? This is an in-ceiling speaker, but if you have some obstruction in the ceiling and you can't get the regular in-ceiling speaker in that situation, we have something like this which will solve a problem. And that's what we do. We're a problem-solving company. I do want to talk about some other new products. I said this is one of our banner years for new product introductions. Here's an example of it. This is our ARC player. This is designed to sit behind a TV. You take your HDMI cable into the ARC input. Also has Bluetooth built in. Sits behind the TV, provides amplification to speakers that could either be on wall next to the TV, or preferably, in our opinion, in wall. And a big bugbear of mine is that, you know, in my opinion, a sound bar or a Sonos speaker, that's the modern day equivalent of a transistor radio. And those things were big in the 60s for good reason, but I don't think they have a place in the 2020s. They really don't. Why not put your speakers in the wall? Now you might say, okay, but that's more challenging because you've got to cut holes in the wall and everything else, but honestly, it really isn't.
It's not that hard. You're cutting drywall.
Right, you're cutting drywall, and for anybody who has a bit of experience with that, it's going to be easy, and if you don't, go to YouTube, man.
Right.
There's a ton of videos on how to do it.
Sure.
You can recess this in a wall behind the TV. You can cut holes through you can put the speakers, and there you've got something which looks beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not another box in the room. It's an architectural solution that looks nice. And I'll show you some speakers that we make that's specifically for that purpose that would connect to this amplifier.
Now, is that more like is it a streamer, or what are we talking there?
No,
just amplification
no,
mostly?
So we do
That's
have
all the antennas.
Yeah, that's for the BT side of things.
Okay.
Now we do have streaming products as well with built-in
That's
streamers.
not in this unit.
No,
Okay.
we wanted to keep the cost down, so we took the streamer out. Because most TVs these days are pretty smart.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
have built-in streaming solutions.
Correct.
So why
Spotify is in there. Yep.
Right. So why duplicate
Sure.
that?
Okay. Like I said, I'm just kind of clarifying since it's a new product.
By moving,
they're not aware about it.
Right. By moving that out of this product, we can make this product $50 cheaper.
Yeah. Makes sense.
If you've already got the streams,
Yeah.
why pay that extra $50?
Yeah, I got
This
you.
will give you the same power that the one that has the streamer built in, but it's going to be $50 less at retail.
Yeah.
And that's good for some people.
Sure.
We have a more powerful amplifier here, also super shallow. This is 2 times 150 watts into 4 ohms, and just a bigger version of the arc lab. This one doesn't have an ARC input. This might typically be used more as a desktop amplifier. Very traditional, Class AB, very nice sounding amplifier. We started selling these, I want to say about 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And Crutchfield's one of our biggest customers.
Sure.
We broke a record at Crutchfield. Within 30 days, it was their best-selling amplifier.
Wow.
It's never happened.
Well, it's that price point.
Well,
More people are able to
be
get
honest,
into
it was the
it.
baby brother of this one. It was the XP at the 100. This is
Okay.
the 300.
Yeah.
That was selling at $199.
Okay.
So real cheap. This is $299.
So again, just crazy affordable, guys.
None of our products are expensive.
Right.
I mean, that's probably the most expensive product we've ever had.
So keep that in mind as we're going through this whole showroom. Like all of this stuff is attainable. So if you're sitting at home and you're going, man, I'd love to have something outdoors. I'd love to have a big amplifier, but man, it just doesn't fit the budget. I promise you, talk to these guys. They've got a product that'll fit your budget. What else we got, Simon?
Okay, well, let's move over to our outdoor solutions.
Okay.
Right here. We're very, very pleased to be launching a range of speakers called Eclipse. And what differentiates the Eclipse range is they all have lights built in. So they're speakers with lights.
Okay.
All of these cylindrical models here have both speakers and lights built into them.
Okay.
So if you want to do some accent lighting in your backyard,
Sure.
or you want to illuminate a pathway for safety reasons, and you want music, well, now you can do it with a single product.
Okay. So I see there's different. So I'm assuming lights under here, LEDs,
Yes, LEDs. Some have,
and then some of them have a ring here.
they're all LED.
Okay.
Some are up-down lights, so the
Okay.
light will go up and down. Some are
gotcha.
just lights from the top. These ones tend to be brighter because we want them to be probably positioned at an entrance where you need, maybe there's steps and you need more brightness.
Sure.
These are more accent, so where you just want to illuminate slightly in an
Sure.
area that might be in the bushes or something.
Right. You're not trying to illuminate the whole space.
Now, of course, these are relatively small speakers, and so you can imagine there's not a ton of bass.
No, there's probably not much at all.
No.
But I see this big cannon. What the heck?
Well, you bury this in the ground, obviously. You don't get to see all the beautiful orange stuff. We're not trying to promote the Dutch football team, the Orange Brigade.
Yeah.
No, this is all buried in the ground.
Sure.
But it does have a light ring inside here as well.
Okay.
And all you
So
see
this is
as a
illuminated
customer
as well.
is this top piece. Yeah, this is illuminated
Nice.
as well. And so you could probably have as many as 8 or 10 of these and one of these
Sure.
in an outdoor area, and you're going to get all the bass you need.
So Simon, I have 2 of your in-ground subwoofers at my house. So having a 12-inch driver with just some lighting, that's super cool. And what's great is you'll see it's made out of plastic. Why do you make it out of plastic?
Well, of course, it's going to be in the ground, so it's got to be totally waterproof.
100%.
And this is, you could spray, this could be next to a sprinkler, and it's not going to be affected. It could sit in wet ground and it will be good forever. So, no, it has to be durable.
Yeah.
And we do rate these. It has an IP rating, which means it can withstand indirect or even slightly direct water coming on it. So if it's rain or even a sprinkler, it's going to be absolutely fine and covered by warranty.
So one thing you're thinking, man, a big concern I think a lot of consumers is, man, if I put this thing outside, my neighbors are going to hate me. So here's one thing that Simon helped me to understand. When we built our outdoor OSD audio, outdoor living area sound system, we had a lot of speakers out there. I mean, there's 4 rock speakers, there's 8 wall speakers, kind of like these, and then we have 2 in-ground subwoofers. And you're thinking, man, that's just gonna blow everybody up. You know what? None of my neighbors have ever complained, and the reason is because we've got so many spread out, we can keep the volume at just a normal listening volume, and it's not bleeding over to the neighbors.
Right.
So by having more, you actually are spreading that sound out around your outdoor living area, and then you don't have to crank it up. If you only have 1 speaker, you gotta crank the thing really, really loud.
No.
But if you position some of these all around, and maybe you got a patio system or a lounge area over here, having multiple speakers, multiple subwoofers, I think really is a benefit. It's not like you're going to be bleeding over into the neighbor's yard.
No, Mark, you're exactly right. And we offer a design service completely free of charge.
Yeah.
So you come to us and you're not sure, where the speakers need to be. We'll send us the plans and we'll tell you where the speakers should be, and we'll create areas, zones, where if you're just outside dining, we'll just have a little dining area. If you have a small pair of speakers and you have nice sound, you're not going to affect your neighbors.
Sure.
Then you might have a pool area, barbecue area, etc., etc. And so by dividing the outdoor area into zones, you can keep the sound level. And by having more speakers, as you say, they don't have to play as loud. You're not going to upset the neighbors.
I've got a whole video series. I'll just link it down in the description if you're interested in that. But you guys were awesome. You helped me as the consumer. I'm not super handy, but you told me hook this to here and do this to this. It shows you exactly what you need to do. It was a no-brainer.
Yeah, most people can do this.
Correct.
If you're not digging a trench and putting a wire in the ground is not the hardest thing. But even if you said, "Oh, I don't want to do that," then
you hire somebody. Yep.
You hire a landscape guy. You don't hire a high-end custom electronic guy who's going to charge you $100 an hour to dig a trench and put a wire in.
Sure.
It doesn't make sense. You can do that stuff yourself, and the design will do for you. Make high-end outdoor sound very accessible to everybody.
Yeah. So you got amplification, you've got streaming capability out there.
We got everything you need.
Yeah.
So we have subwoofer amplifiers to make the subs really play loud.
Sure.
We have multi-channel amplifiers, so you could have, in this case, there would be 4 zones.
Okay, right.
You can turn, with these amplifiers, this is our MX series of amplifiers, you can turn zones on. You have 4 zones, you can label them on the front.
Sure.
From the front panel you can say, I just want to listen to zone 1 today.
Right.
But maybe I've got other people coming by and I need the barbecue on, you just turn them on, turn them off by zone.
Right.
Most multi-channel amplifiers, this is an 8-channel amplifier. Most people who make 8-channel, we make a 12-channel amplifier as well, and a 16, same design.
Yeah.
Most people who make these don't give you these buttons.
Yeah.
All the channels are on.
Sure.
Which is consuming power,
Sure.
and it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
So
if you're just wanting to go out to your barbecue grill, you don't need all of the speakers.
No. So you mark this barbecue, you press the button, that's the zone that's on now.
Yeah. Solving problems.
Yeah.
So we got even some smaller subs over here.
Yeah, this one actually has a light in it as well, the 850 Lume. This is somewhat brighter than this, but this is going to be built into the bushes or the shrubbery, give you a bit more accent lighting. But you could place these along a pathway as well and give you pathway lighting. One of the things about is security, right? If a thief has the opportunity to break into a backyard or get into your house through the backyard that has no lighting whatsoever, he's going to feel more comfortable than going into one where there's lights all over the place. So there is a security element to it as well, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, what next? Let's go around the outside here and I'll talk to you about some of the products we have over here. On the way, here we go. I'm sorry this isn't illuminated, but this is the up-down light. LEDs, top and bottom, pretty bright. Speaker in the middle.
Right.
Speaker fires downwards onto a cone and spreads the sound out 360 degrees.
Yeah, I can see it inside here.
Yeah.
It's like a little dome.
Yeah, this is new for the show as well.
Okay.
We were talking earlier about how I don't like sound bars.
Yeah.
Well, these are some of the speakers that you could put in your wall next to your TV with one, like that little arc amplifier we have. And it's a nice speaker. It's a 2-way, tweeter in the middle, 2-way as well.
I see these have a switch. What's the switch for?
You can adjust the amount of bass and treble. It's just a little kind of funky tone control,
maybe
just a little
crossover?
bit. Yeah, if you think it's just crossover. Okay. If you think it sounds a little bit bright, flip the switch down and you'll put a little filter in there to make it sound less bright. But really, this is to me this is a more elegant solution than a soundbar. And with the amp behind the TV, great sound.
There's a lot of my audience that they want in-walls because, I mean, let's face it, our wives don't like big, massive speakers and subwoofers. So when you can clean it up, put it behind there. Now, are these paintable?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you would take these off.
No, it can match your decor.
Yeah.
I would just caution you to be real careful. You don't want to clog up with the pores. So do really, really light coats, multiple coats maybe?
Light, multiple. In fact, if you're using a really thick paint, if you're trying to match a wall color, take that wall color paint and thin it down a little bit. So it's still the same color. And then do some light coats because you don't want to clog the. Even though sound will come through. But it will just take off a little bit of the high frequency.
So I love it. You got all different shapes, sizes, depending on how much space you got, what kind of sound output you got.
No, we have a lot of different solutions at all different price points. Some of these are less than $100.
Golly. See, that's just insane. How do you even stay in business? I mean, that's just crazy.
Well, we sell a lot of them. That's how we stay in business.
I love it, man. I love it. You're just making home theater, outdoor entertainment accessible to everybody. And that's really what it's coming down to.
That's our gig. And we like people to be happy. Music makes you happy. And we want people to be happy on a budget.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So we have a commercial division. And the difference between the residential and the commercial side of things usually is about distance. And sometimes it's about the amount of power you can generate, but usually it's distance. If you run speaker cables over 100 feet, you're going to start running into some impedance problems on the on the speaker cable itself. So the solution there is to go 70 volt, run a high voltage line level. Then you can run 500 feet, 600 feet without losing any signal. And we have a range of products that work in the 70 volt arena. Now, most consumers aren't going to be faced with that problem, but honestly, you have a decent sized yard and you're starting in the house with your speaker wires, you're going out to the pool, you can get to those sort of distances. There's a second advantage. When you do 8-ohm speakers, you have to run like a star system. You've got to run a speaker wire out to every single speaker in your outdoor area. When you go 70 volt, it's a loop.
Kind of like, almost like daisy chain.
You daisy chain the whole thing, so you can run one cable out, and you can take wattage off of each speaker. Takes 5 watts, 10 watts, 15, 20 watts for each speaker, and then you choose the size of amplifier you want. I want a 300 watt amplifier because I've got 10, 30 watt speakers.
Depending on how many.
And it's just one wire that goes all the way around. So that's the commercial world, and we have volume controls, and we have little weatherproof transformers, so you can take the taps in and off of here. Cool little solutions that you need. Even something as simple as this little box here, which all this does is convert stereo to mono. Because a 70 volt.
Because outside, a lot of times you're not running stereo.
No, and a 70 volt system is mono. It isn't going to be a stereo system. So you need to get a mono feed to it. We give you the box to do that.
Love it.
So let's move over to this section here. I showed you the 8-channel amplifier.
Familiar with these.
So this is the, you have the 8-channel over there. This is the 16-channel, the 12-channel amplifier. Again, with these buttons, so you can select the individual zones. These sell extremely well for us. Again, we're pretty.
These are rack mountable as well. Does that come with them?
Rack mountable, and these start. I believe the 8-channel is $499. And then you got, it's still less than $1,000 for a 16-channel amplifier that can run 16 individual speakers, so it's a pretty good deal. We talked earlier about having streamers as well. We do have the little ARC amplifier that I showed you over here that doesn't have any streaming built in, but has BT and has an HDMI connection. But if you want a streamer, maybe for a desktop system, then we have our SRT range. This has got Wi-Fi connectivity, but it also has optical inputs, coax inputs, RCA inputs, and a built-in streamer. So this can do a lot of different things. We see this Depends on your application, right? I mean, but as a desktop solution next to your computer,
Sure.
might be, it's got a volume control on the front. Most of these little streamers don't give you that.
Okay.
This would be, I guess, an equivalent to a Sonos,
Okay.
but a much lower price.
Sure. So are we streaming with Wi-Fi, or are we streaming with Bluetooth? What's the connectivity there?
There's BT connectivity, as well as we have an app which gives you all of the streaming music services,
Okay.
Spotify, Amazon Music,
Sure.
gives you access to all that stuff.
Okay.
And we're constantly adding services and updating them, and the controller's all through your phone,
Yeah.
through our own app. And on your app, you can select the auxiliary input or the optical input, or the streaming selection to it. We have a single zone, 2 outputs on this, like a stereo.
Yeah.
Then we have 4 of them built into one box.
Right.
So if you have a house where you want to have 4 different streaming zones, and each member of your family has their own app, they can set their favorites,
Sure.
and they get their own little streaming section, and it's very simple to do. So that's the 4.
All right.
That's the 4. If you thought we already had too many amps,
That's right. We're bringing out some more.
we got more amps. And it's application based. There's
Sure.
always a reason for. We don't bring products out if we don't think there's a reason for
Yeah.
it or there's a place for it in the marketplace.
Sure.
So the HTX amplifiers, these are Class D. They run super cool.
Yeah.
They are designed for home theater use, but also could be used where you need more power in the zone, like outdoors, because they are pretty powerful. These are typically 100 watts per channel into 8 ohms.
Yeah.
And 160, 170 into 4 ohms. But each channel is bridgeable.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So when you bridge these channels, you get over 300 watts. So you could take, this is the 6 channel.
Yep.
We do a 4 channel and an 8 channel.
Yep.
But the 6 channel, you could bridge these sets here and have 3 times 300 watts, Class D format, and the price is low, man.
Yeah.
This is like $7.99. It's 3 times 300 watts. And it's rack mountable.
Right.
You don't need to worry about heat. You could put it in a cadenza or in a closet,
Sure.
out of the way, and not worry about the heat, which you might have to if you've got something which is Class AB.
Right.
Even in Class H, where it's 65% efficient, it doesn't get super hot. But if you don't have airflow, what happens with amplifiers when they get too hot, they start to distort.
Correct.
The components start to get challenged.
Yeah.
And you don't want distortion.
Yep.
So these,
I've always told my audience that I would rather have too much power than not enough power. Because your ear, people say, well, how will I know if I blow my speaker, or would I blow my speaker? Well, use your brain, man. If it starts sounding strained, or it sounds like, okay, this is probably too loud, back it down, okay? Just don't go nuts with it. You're not gonna need all of that, but having all that headroom allows that amplifier to play cleaner. You're gonna get better sound out of it, and you don't have to run into that distortion or possibly clipping, which can damage your speakers.
no, and we encourage people to come to us with questions like that. We will say, so what's the system going to look like? Where are the products going to be located?
Cool.
What's the system look like? What's your app? And we'll tell you which is the best product to suit your application. And if we think ventilation is going to be an issue,
Right.
or you're going to run it at super high power levels, we're
Sure.
probably going to tell you
Class
to
D.
go in this direction.
Yeah.
These sound every bit as good as those. They're just a different way of getting to the same place.
Sure.
And with some additional flexibility, the ability to bridge the channels, and we'd always take 2 of the channels on each of these amplifiers and give you subwoofer control.
Yeah.
So there's crossover filters and level
Man,
controls
see, that's like
built
so
in.
much feature. So I've done the review, or not review, I've done the overview talking about the features, and I was blown away at like how many options and how many different configurations you can do with each one of these amplifiers. And like you said, everybody has a different goal. They have a different setup.
Yeah.
And so being able to provide something that's flexible and even expandable, so that's pretty
Well,
cool.
and take using these as an outdoor amplifier.
Right.
You've got a big yard, you want to get more volume, you want to keep the distortion down.
Sure.
You've got a subwoofer buried in the ground.
Yeah.
Well, to take this, fire the subwoofer off here, and then run 4 nice speakers off these channels.
Sure.
And now you've got, if they're 4 ohm speakers, you've got 150 watts, you've got a nice outdoor system,
Sure.
all running off one amplifier.
So even with this, you got 4 speakers here and a subwoofer, or you could bridge these and have 2 more power going to 2
Yeah.
speakers and a
Yeah.
subwoofer. So again, just lots and lots of flexibility. I
Same
love
with the
it.
4 channels, same with the 8 channel. So we think there's a good place for these in our lineup. and already enjoying good sales. And they've only been out for a couple of months, so very happy with that. Okay, so this section really is about, well, not the speakers up top, they're actually active part of our demonstration, but some of these other products are in that concept stage, or prototype stage, or pre-production. I think they'll make it to market, but they're not here yet. But I do want to show you some of the things we're thinking about working on, because we're pretty excited. I'll start with this little system here. This is probably about, I'm going to disconnect this so you can see it a little bit closer. We think this is the smallest in-wall speaker on the market.
Wow.
Takes up very little real estate in the wall, very easy to install. A teeny tiny full range drive unit. It's ported. We actually get down probably to about 150 hertz. It's not much lower, so of course you need a subwoofer. And we have a subwoofer which is designed to be mounted on a wall. Keeps it out of the way. And between these two, we can get bass down to 40 hertz. Pretty good. The system's going to come complete with an amplifier that drives both the subwoofer and the little satellite in walls. We think it's pretty cool.
So again, going back to what you said earlier, forget the sound bar. Do something like this that would be so much better.
You see drive units like this in sound bars, but now you've got a box that's on the wall. It's what I call ugly. So this is going to be an interesting. Our target price is less than $200 for the complete system. Again, value for money. What else are we looking at? We have this real kind of high value pendant speaker. This is
beautiful finish on this side.
It's gloss black and really looks beautiful.
There's a speaker there.
We saw, it's actually a very high quality dual speaker. It's a 3 or 3.5 inch with a tweeter in the middle, so it's a real two-way. Sounds actually surprisingly good. And the idea of this is that if you have an island where you have pendant lighting over the island and you want sound just focused over the island, you need something that's going to look good, because quite frankly you're going to see it all the time. It's going to be very, very visual. So that's the idea behind this product. We call it the Sphere 3.
Now, are these going to be available in different finishes, maybe?
We're looking at black and white. But that's it.
Again, no crazy colors.
No, because there's always minimum order quantities, and what that means is the price goes up.
That makes sense.
Because if we have to buy 300 or 500 or something, it's going to take us 2 years to sell them or whatever. We just have to crank the price up, and we don't like putting prices up. We like prices down.
Nothing wrong with that.
Something else we're looking at, I think this is pretty cool. This is a compression drive unit, a horn inside an in-ceiling speaker.
You don't see that very often.
No, you do not. You do. In the commercial world, you see them a few times, but so if you have super high ceilings, where the high frequencies are going to get lost, just get into where you are, you need a compression drive unit. It throws the sound further, typically way more efficient, so you don't need as much power. These are about 98 dB efficiency.
Oh wow, so easy to drive.
Easy to drive, you need a few watts.
So when you say super high ceiling, what are we talking? Like, are we 12 foot?
20 foot.
Okay, so big. So this is probably more of a commercial?
Well, you would see it in commercial, but you would see it in some of those high voltage ceilings where you have those homes, 2-level homes, but part of the house is all open right to the ceiling. You know, where it's really difficult to get the cobwebs down.
Put a big speaker up there.
Because getting the sound will reach you where you're sitting with absolute clarity.
That makes sense.
Instead of it being more bass heavy, because typically the high frequencies are going to roll off faster than the low frequencies. With this type of speaker, with the horn, compression drive unit, it's going to be absolute clarity all the way to the ground. So we do see a residential purpose for this. But obviously, if you're in a commercial building where the ceilings are 20 feet high, and it could be part of an emergency system where the clarity has to be perfect. So this is our answer to that particular thing. We're always looking for products that solve problems, and we believe this is another one of those. Finally, in this section, this is a 2.1 amplifier. When I say 2.1, what I mean is it's got a subwoofer output, 200 watts, and it's got outputs for a pair of speakers at 75 watts. So if you have a little 2.1 system, this is the amplifier that's going to drive it. Again, it could be one of those that goes for a TV, where you want to have a lot more bass, and it's shallow enough to actually go on the wall as well. So we think this is going to do quite well. We give quite a bit of extra control on the front, with the features.
We got crossover, phase, sub gain, bass, treble.
Yeah.
And a lot of people they want the ability to adjust the sound to their liking.
Yeah.
And I know some of the purists are like, oh, don't mess with the treble and bass. The reality is, if you want a little bit more treble, it's a nice feature.
You can use it or don't use it.
Do that.
It's there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. See, I'm an audiophile, and typically I'm not using bass or treble.
Yeah.
But in my home theatre, I'm using a ton of DSP, and that's affecting things. It's not flat, and it solves problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, we give people the option, and it's right there. One of our best-selling products, I don't even know where it is on the booth, been around for years, is a preamp.
Okay.
An old analog preamp. It's called the Pre-1. We sell it for like $150. It's got a phono input. It's got tone controls on the front. It's got a loudness button.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
But we sell gazillions of them.
Yeah.
This is in that vein.
Sure.
Right, let's go around this side. We have a little bit more commercial products around here.
Okay.
So this wraps up our commercial offerings, and there's a couple of new things here that I wanted to just make people aware of.
Sure.
We have a very small 70-volt amplifier, 50 watts, so you could run 5, 10-watt speakers off of this, for example.
Okay.
But you can add it, you can rack mount them, so you can add 4 of these into a single rack space, in which case you'd be up to 200 watts.
Okay.
So it gives people flexibility depending on how much power they need for the particular installation. That's new to us, coming out in a couple of months' time. We introduced this tiny little 70 volt, when I say 70 volt, I just want to show you, inside here, this is what a 70 volt speaker terminal looks like. Okay. You have the regular 8 ohm connections here for normal speaker connections, but you also have a control here to select how much power you want this speaker to receive from the amplifier. And it will depend on how many you have, what space you're trying to fill. You'll dial in 5 watts, 10 watts, 15 watts.
So I'm assuming your team could also, hey, if you're looking to do something like this in your system, you could walk them through, okay, if you're going to be hooking up X amount, here's what I would tell you to do on that setting. And
we design these systems all day long. And feel the weight of this thing.
Yeah, this is super. It's actually beefy.
It is a beefy speaker.
I thought it was going to be like really light, but that is actually beefy.
No, this is actually an excellent sounding little speaker.
That's
Whether
awesome.
you run it at 8 ohms or in 70 volt applications. Now, typically with a speaker this big, you're going to have a subwoofer somewhere.
Yeah, sure. I like it, man. So they can mount it sideways. You've got angle adjustments.
Yeah. And you can see we've got this curve on here, so you can mount it this way and go this way. So it's like 360 degree.
Super flexible speaker.
Super flexible. Okay, let's move over here. So we talked about our in-wall speakers. Obviously we have in-ceiling as well. Quite a wide range, and it just depends on the room you're in, whether you want super high-end audio, or if it's a secondary room, you would drop back to just regular audio. So we typically go good, better, or best, or just better and best. With different types of sizes, so 5 1/4, 6 1/2, 8s, and some of them have, if it's a stereo, let's say it's a real small room, like a small bathroom, you don't want to put 2 speakers in.
There you go. You put one and you're still getting kind of a stereo effect.
Yeah, and you can run both left and right speaker cables to this speaker.
That makes sense.
So it solves the problem. New for the show is our small aperture speakers. So we have a round small aperture and we have a square small aperture.
Nice.
So in ceilings now, the light fittings tend to be getting smaller.
Correct.
People don't want the bigger cutouts. They want to try to match their light fixture. So this will match a light fixture and this will match a light fixture. So these are new for us. And also you could put these in a wall next to a TV if you wanted to as well. So this is a paintable grill. So we supply this piece of fabric here, and what you would do is you'd put this on the back. Then when you sprayed it, it wouldn't go through to the speaker or what's behind it.
Nice, man. So again, a little something for everybody.
Yeah, well, it's something for everyone, as you say. Let's wrap up in the main area.
All right, let's head to the home theater. All right, Simon, so we're in front of your home theater setup.
Yeah.
So again, trade show is not the most ideal place to have a home theater setup, especially if you don't have a dedicated room for it. But what do we got going on here?
Well, you know, my passion, as you know, is home theatre, and I'm privileged to be working for a company that allows me to get involved with products that I think are pretty cool, and I get involved in the design of some of these things, and I think I have, you know, in my mind, I know what I like and I know what I want, and this is some of those products. We have home theatre speakers for LCRs and for height channels, with triple tweeter arrays to give you extra power. Usually a weak link in any home theatre speaker is the tweeter. Sure. It's going to be the first thing that blows when they're overdriven. You put 3 of them in here, you're dividing the power up 3 ways. These things will play up to 118 dB all day long, with clarity and extremely low distortion. We use some great cone materials. We use high quality German components in the crossover. So this is stuff I really love. Sure. You complement them with some of our new subwoofers. These are the FS15s, 15-inch drive units, 600 watts per channel. And we've got 4 of them here for this little demonstration. As you point out, even in the sound rooms here, the noise floor is 60 dB. Oh yeah. And so it's tough to do a really demonstration that's going to show you the quality of anything. Sure. Right now, the sound here, I could get my SPL meter out. We're probably running at 70 to 75 dB, just background noise.
Right, yeah, just all the stuff happening at the show.
So we'll play a little clip, and it will probably be 90 or 95 dB, so that's 20 dB of headroom. It's not giving
not ideal.
No, we can't hope to do anything other than show people just a glimpse of what this system is capable of. So this system is a 7.2.2. Each subwoofer is a single channel, so 2 channels of subwoofers. We've tuned them slightly differently, one for depth, one for attack, just to try to get the most out of it. But you know, we're at a show, and we can't do everything. Sure. We are trying to face away against the wall and not upset our neighbours as much as possible, but it is what it is. Let me get this, well, before they do that, because I want to finish with this thing playing, but just as a wrap up, thank you for coming. Yeah, Michael,
this really, blast,
really appreciate doing this, and you know, as you said, we're about delivering value. We're about providing products to people at the lowest cost, and providing also those plans and that advice and the designs, so that if you want to do it yourself and not hire one of these high-end installers, then you can. If you run into a problem, or if it's too complicated, we absolutely recommend you go to these CEDIA guys. They know what they're doing. The reason why they cost a bit more money is because they're professionals. It's what they do. You know, if you want to go to a lawyer, you don't pick the cheapest guy in the book. You go to, these are professionals in exactly the same way. So anyway, thanks for coming, and really appreciate it. Let's fire this thing up. Give me a sec. Of course, we're playing Mad Max, Fury Road. One of my favorite movies for sound and action. I haven't seen Furiosa yet. I haven't either. I may be disappointed.
We're heading east.
That's great. Simon, thanks so much for that demo, dude. So, again, we are in not ideal conditions.
No, we are not.
Tweeter was incredibly detailed. I was feeling tactile from these 4 subwoofers from back here, and we have this massive open space. There's probably, what, 30, 40-foot ceilings? I mean, that's pretty impressive, to be honest with you. So, what you guys have achieved in the home theater space, outdoor space, making it affordable for my audience and for anybody wanting to get into the space, you just really are making that barrier to entry just so easy. So I really, really appreciate that.
Right, thank you for saying that. That's our goal. Hopefully we've achieved it. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Man. Thank you.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Check out OSD Audio. They've got some incredible products. I'll link their website down below. And hope you guys have an incredible week. God bless, and we will catch you in the next video. And then the beat drop. Boom!